Did I get into Harvard? No! Come on, just give me something, guys. No. Did I get in Columbia? Dude, I must have done something seriously wrong. Did I get into Stanford University? No! You guys think I got into MIT?
I think we got it.
I did get rejected from MIT. Did I get into Duke University? No. I gotta get into one of these, dude. Did I get in to Rice University?
Wow, guys.
This tab was leaking my address. Oh, crap. Oh, shoot.
Those damn privileged white guys, and what's actually happening to him is probably a blessing in disguise. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Radowski here of wearechange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely wild and crazy news to get into today. As, of course, domestically, the situation is pretty weird. It's pretty awful, especially financially. The prospects are not looking good, as internationally, there are larger pushes for central bank digital currencies that are already being implemented and resisted at the same time. You probably haven't heard of it. Why? Because there's a larger censorship effort by those individuals who, of course, are trying to implement a global technocratic world order. We'll be talking about that, plus a lot more, all here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was originally highlighted by Isabella DeLuca, but I don't know who this man is, as he was rejected from every Ivy League school, probably on the merits of the way he was born, as of course he was born into a lot of privilege that hasn't really shown him to be very privileged, especially in our current modern-day society where discrimination is normalized, as woke capitalism takes a main front-row seat towards the larger destruction of this economy, to the point where even Warren Buffett just revealed that he probably will be selling off some of his stock, as he is warning the American taxpayer that taxes are going to go up, as the U.S. national debt is already $34 trillion, as he's warning people about another federal tax hike on the horizon, as he is expecting the U.S. government to increase taxes rather than, reduce spending, which they should be doing. They should be prioritizing. All of this as members of Congress have actually had a better stock record than he does. This, as of course it pays to be a politician or someone connected to politicians like Mark Zuckerberg, that we recently got a view of his new $300 million super yacht that he got, in part with working with the Biden administration, the federal intel agencies, when it came to suppressing, destroying independent thought and news stories that, of course, were very critical of them. All of this as the Democrats have declared victory, especially in the House of Representatives, where minority Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries literally is gloating that the Democrats control Congress, which is, again, under the control of allegedly the Republicans, as Hakeem Jeffries had this to announce on national television just a couple minutes ago.
Minority Leader Jeffries could potentially become the first black Speaker of the House, though to hear him tell it, the Democrats are already in charge.
Even though we're in the minority, we effectively have been governing as if we were in the majority, because we continue to provide a majority of the votes necessary to get things done. Those are just the facts.
The fact is, Republicans in the House are a majority in name only.
Yeah, as they've been bending the knee and bending over to the Democrats' demands in a very not so appealing way to their constituents that are scratching their heads and asking what in the world is going on here, as even according to some members of Congress, it was Donald Trump that helped Congress pass a larger spending bill for the future of war in Ukraine, who allegedly helped give the Democrats another major political victory, as he is facing jail and threatened with it again, after a judge found him in contempt of his gag order violation for the 10th time, fining him with an additional $1,000 fine. as the judge has said that he soon might impose a jail sanction if necessary and, quote, appropriate. This as the current president of the United States, very interestingly, just stopped munition shipments to a country in Israel that this platform doesn't like us talking about. What's really going on here? Why did Joe Biden do this? What's really happening behind the scenes? Well, we're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all on wearechange.org/subscribe. This is our members area where, of course, we all get to talk to each other, communicate with each other, and do really cool, awesome, fun stuff. We do nature hikes, we do contests, ticket giveaways, you name it, we do it. Sign up right now as the video will continue after this one, all on wearechange.org/subscribe. As we also wanted to tell you about the cool supplements that we have also available to you with our exclusive line on wearechange.shop. We just got Essential Fatty back in stock. It's an incredible product. It's really awesome. I did a lot of research on this as this product is tested for heavy metals. It comes from small fish, and it's some really good stuff. As personally, after doing my blood work and talking to some medical professionals, they're like, yeah, you should do some fish oils, bro. I have. My blood test results are a lot better after taking them. Those are my results. Will they be yours? Well, get tested. Find out what's really going on with you. Talk to a medical professional before putting anything into your body. And check out wearechange.shop to start your own individual health journey. As, of course, we still have a lot to talk about, specifically when it comes to the larger kind of protests and mobilizations that have been happening all around the world, but not really documented or talked about on the larger mainstream corporate media. As right now, there are ongoing protests in Ireland against the open immigration globalist policies there, as another protest that is involving tens of thousands of people in Australia, I think, is also extremely significant, extremely important to talk about, as, of course, the citizens there are standing up for their own individual privacy rights, specifically when it comes to the implementation of digital identification and cashless societies. This as Sky News is reporting how the media and government are silent on these digital identification protests, which they report a lot of significant lack of coverage of, as these are very important issues that tie in back with central bank digital currency systems, which some people have described as, quote, mark of the beast in religious prophecies. But essentially, it is one of the last few remaining larger predatory attacks from the technocratic surveillance digital gulag state that is important to address, that is important to talk about, because financial freedom, the freedom to have cash, the freedom to be able to commerce and to, of course, trade with your neighbor, with your friend, with your family members, to be able to transfer over wealth and value. It's not a privilege. It's a right of free humanity, a God-given right that the government wants to know every little detail about. As, of course, with central bank digital currencies, with cashless societies, you could get taxed automatically, no matter what the tax rate will be, determined by bureaucrats who, of course, won't need your acquiescence when it comes to raising the tax percentage that, of course, they take away from you. Could you protest it? Could you stop them? No, you can't. Everything's digital. In China, you jaywalk. Automatically, pictures are taken, facial recognition systems are implemented, and money is automatically deducted from your bank account without you even having a word to say about it. Now, you add that to not just jaywalking, you add that to the fact of how this could be implemented against dissidents, against protesters, against journalists that are questioning the government that has full control of all of your financial means. And you right there have a recipe for disaster that many powerful globalists have been trying to implement for a very long time. And they are implementing it already in many dastardly ways in places like Australia, where this was the scene today outside of Brisbane, with people protesting their new government digital identification systems. As the banking systems keep making it more and more difficult to have cash, and new laws have been implemented where people get fined for not reporting cash transactions over a few $1,000s. This, as the Spectator writes, digital ID, privacy, and liberty are brothers, and they are. All of this, as the Australian government says that they need full control of every aspect of your life, with giving you no little privacy at all, mainly because to, quote, fight online fraud, as of course your digital identification will now be tied in to your online Google search history, your online activities, and every single financial transaction you ever make. as the Australian government is talking about how their new digital identification system will, quote, reduce the amount of identity documents stored in government systems and will prevent cyber. And meanwhile, they're literally uploading all of your data, which makes it vulnerable, as, of course, a lot of government public records are usually leaked or usually hacked, sometimes released, sometimes even sold by local governments to, of course, data centers that take your data and, of course, use it against you. This, as the digital ID bill just passed in the Senate in Australia, as clearly this is a blueprint for mass surveillance. All of this, as I think these rallies deserve a lot of attention, as, of course, they are testing these larger kind of Orwellian 1984 style techniques on populations to see how they are going to respond, to see if they're going to acquiesce, to see if they're going to be compliant. As they already rolled this out in China, now they're testing it in other places in the world, as, of course, this will soon come to the United States and other Western governments, just like a lot of health procedures, lockdowns, and government initiatives did just a few years ago in lockstep with each other, almost as if they were reading from a blueprint, because they were. As just recently, the government of Australia disarmed their local population, something that has also happened to some other parts of the Western world that are slowly and surely becoming more tyrannical. In the United Kingdom, local police officers are bragging about taking tools from one man, which they describe as a, quote, weapons sweep, which was probably just a construction guy going home. This, as here in the United States, we could expect more audits that are going to be surging, as the government expects to, of course, be spending and taking more of your money, as it already is extremely financially irresponsible. Well, it's going to be a lot more irresponsible, especially under the leadership of Joe Biden, who literally announced, if you elect me, your taxes are going to be raised, not cut, and that's exactly what's happening.
By the way, how many of you did really well with that $1.9 trillion tax cut that increased? Really good shape, right? Really changed your. Well, you did. Well, that's good. I'm glad to see you're doing well already, and I'm good. But guess what? If you elect me, you're not going to have your taxes are going to be raised, not cut. If you benefit from that.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening, and it's only going to go up from here, especially with another Biden administration that is set to, of course, try to be your president for the next 4 years. This is an important issue. If you think it's also an important issue, share this broadcast with your friends and family members. It is more imperative than ever, especially if you think this issue is important. As, of course, this is a niche issue that a lot of the big tech social media companies don't really like you talking about. Getting this video out there to your friends and family members really does mean a lot. And I can't thank you guys enough for being a part of that. We got another live podcast show later on today, 6 p.m. Eastern. Stay tuned for that and a lot more, all here on youtube.com/wearechange. Love you guys. Stay tuned for more.